in the Public Safety Building. Roll call. Telchik here. Neblett.
Here.
Cunningham.
Here.
Deloso.
Here.
Kadlec.
Here.
Kaufman.
Here.
Please stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Citizen comments on agenda items only must be signed in on sign-up sheet, limited to 2 minutes. Consent agenda. All items marked with a single asterisk on the consent agenda are considered routine by the city council and will be acted upon in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requested. A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on October 18th, 2022. B, Secretary Treasurer's report, payment of bills for October 2022. C, Investment Officer's report for October 2022. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Mayor's report, we don't have one tonight. Let's go into the alderman's report. Neblett.
Couple items, yes, sir. We have an engineer coming, thanks to the mayor, reaching out to some network that he had to look at the bridge on Thursday, to review some ideas we have on repair and see if he has any better ideas on that. The other thing that I want to put before the board is the need for something to keep folks from running off the street at the first turn in Hawaii when you leave Tiki Drive on the new concrete road that we put in. People keep cutting that corner, falling off the concrete and running up the grass and the mud there. And the best idea I have, very open-minded, anything anybody else has, is some large landscaping boulders that would require a variance from the village to do that. But I think we have the resources, should we ever need to move those with the tractor from the water department. And I believe it would stop the problem that we have. So I would ask for your support in that, put that problem to an end. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. We do have a couple of different companies coming to estimate doing some crack sealing on our asphalt roads, which we have not done recently. And some of our recent road work over the last 5 years is starting to develop some cracks from the movement of the soil around it. So I don't have bids for you, should have bids for you next meeting on asphalt sealing.
Thank you. Cunningham.
No projects to report on, but just wanted to say thank you to the community for the passage of the new emergency plan for the fire department. So thank you.
Deloso.
Just a couple of things. Budget-wise, really not much going on right now. It's just the first month. Tax money is trickling in, starting. When the auditors completed their report, they gave us some recommendations of process improvements. Ray Tax and Brandy and I met and we wrote down what we would do for those improved areas and improving the processes. And it's all been documented, so that's kind of closed out. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Kadlec.
One thing I had, I guess, about giving up on tech stop, but Friday they got the barricade moved under Santa Fe overpass finally, so it gave us a little more breathing room on that northbound curve there. So the only other thing I have is I noticed, and I talked to Daryl about this today, we don't typically permit for village projects, but they brought that big tracker in Monday, I can't remember, it snuck in here like late in the afternoon one day. The mill was way overweight, and it wasn't permitted. Now, I know he didn't know it was coming in. I don't think any of us knew it was coming in. So that's what, I believe that's what Apollo with the dredging. Do we want to permit that thing, or we gotta go back out of here and maybe we ought to check and see what else they might be bringing in too?
We'll get with them tomorrow and have them come up to the office and have a meeting.
Okay,
All right, thank
that's
you.
all I got.
Kaufman.
Yes, we have stepped into the 21st century with our new TDAD system. Just so you know, I'm happy to give you a demonstration. There's a mini computer behind it that goes to this wireless keyboard and mouse, very easy to access. So you can do anything on that screen with the computer. People can connect by phone, or also there's a USB cord a port in the wall underneath it in case somebody wanted to plug in and give us a presentation. And believe it or not, you can actually use it for a TV if you want to. So it does all that, and if we have time after the meeting, I'll show Brandy how to access everything in case she needs to use it or anybody else here that needs to use it. So I can show you too, super easy. Okay, I know something you were interested in.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Reports and presentations, fire department.
Report for October, one new member. EMS responses, 6 medical, 1 injury, 1 lift assist, 3 MVAs for a total of 11 responses. Fire calls, 2 vehicle fires and 1 grass fire for a total of 3. And mutual aid, 3 mutual aid calls given. That's it.
All right, thank you. Police report.
Calls for the month of October 2022, 3 alarm calls, 2 animal strays, 26 agencies assist, 7 citizens assist, 2 community outreach, 1 disturbance, 1 fire EMS call, 2 loud music, 2 open doors, 1 suspicious circumstances, 1 suspicious vehicle, 2 traffic complaints in the city, 3 traffic stop citations, 3 traffic stop warnings, 1 trespassing, 2 welfare checks, total of 60 calls.
Thank you, building
I have a
inspector.
question.
Hold on.
Too.
We used to get the chief's report in our packet, and I don't know, several months ago it stopped. Can we go back to getting that so we can look at it?
Absolutely. Sure.
Thank you.
Avery, I had a question on Halloween. You guys do anything special or different on Halloween night? Because I know all the kids just use Tiki Drive, and I happened to be out Halloween night with some kids, and I saw a few people that were kind of flying down the road. I just didn't know if you guys did anything different or special that night.
Well, so every now and then we'll just drive real slow just to keep the traffic down. We'll move it slow and really that's about it.
Thank you.
Building inspector's report.
Month of October, 11 new homes currently under construction, 1 new permit, 1 submitted for review. Permits, we issued 63, closed 93 of them. All permits issued received minimum 1 site inspection before closing the permit. The average is at least 2. New builds and large remodels can be more than 30 inspections. 1 fence variance issued, building inspector now required to punch a clock, turn in job description, replats, 1 for review, 1 recorded, ordinance reviews with committee, which I haven't seen committee lately. Of course, me and Ray still discuss quite a bit. Marina's asking for permit approval, of course, we had that discussion. Non-compliance ordinance issues, 6 red tag notices, 2 for trashy job sites, 1 substandard structure letter sent, 10 site reviews, 5 by complaint. Efforts continue for ordinance violation for substandard non-compliant conditions. CRS ISO, the major recertifications, haven't heard on that one, but our annual recertification, we did get certified on our annual report. Tiki meetings continue. Collection of fees and reviews with Bill Robinson, Ben Falk, and Richard Fox. The rest of the business as usual.
Thank you. Ordinance review committee report.
Yeah, I don't have, the only thing we're waiting on, we got one outstanding was the parking thing, but that's one we're waiting on the zoning board's gotta meet on that before we can proceed with that, that's all we got.
Okay, thank you. Emergency management report.
We're getting towards the end of hurricane season, so we're getting ready for next hurricane season. No stops. Still working on my application for Texas Emergency Management Association. Attended class in Houston for wastewater, water management, and one in San Antonio for electric utilities. Did the Galveston County local LAPC meeting on the 10th. Now a member of the Emergency Communications Committee. We'll have more information on that from our next meeting for that. And, Thursday, I got a meeting for Houston Galveston Public Information Officer Association Tomo. Also, same day for the Texas Lamarck Local Advisory Council. Does a lot of plants that come to that. December 5th and 9th, we go to Cyprus for logistics section chief class, which is my permission for you to sign. And then the December 14th, the county jurisdiction. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Animal control report is in package. General business and action item. A, discuss and possible action on quote from Safe Build to perform the plan review and inspections of all 8 HSD Tiki Holdings proposed villas for $10,754.48. Can I get a motion to discuss?
Motion to discuss, there may be a typo on the agenda.
That's correct.
It's, okay, so it's 10,754? Okay,
$10,754.48.
got it.
Yeah, let me mention something about this. They have decided they want to proceed with the villas. They have contracts for the villas. We have the drawings. Safe Bill has broken this down to basically $408 per villa for the plan review, and the other $1,941 is to do the actual inspection when they start the work. The question we have to decide what to do we want to go ahead and give them the money for the whole thing, or just do the plan review, give them the money for the plan review now, and get that done, and then when they do start the project, we'll turn them on to do the inspection. If we give them the whole amount now, if something happens and we never get the project going, then we wouldn't have the money to go on.
Right.
But the other thing is, we're not gonna give them anything until we get the money from the developer. They've gotta pay us this money first before we turn Safe Build on. So we can either ask for the whole 10,000 plus from the developer now and just hold it until, give them the money for the plan review and hold the rest until they do the inspection. The total permit itself runs around, what was it, Dale, $13,000 is the permit fee that's required, so we're covered here. So the question is, do we want to go ahead and turn Safe Build on, give them the whole amount now, or just give them the money for the plan review and hold off on the inspection when they finally get started?
Yeah, so we're gonna get the 13 from the developer.
It's in that range.
Yeah, I would definitely be in favor of piecemealing the expense for the reasons that you enumerated, in case it doesn't go forward.
They've got the drawing, so they can do the plan review,
Yeah,
get that out of the way.
the only risk to us is, it's 5 years later, and then they want us to do the second half of the inspections, and the cost of the inspections has gone up.
Exactly,
But
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
yeah. If they go up, we just have to ask for more money from the developer.
And we've got a little bit of a delta, too, between our costs and our revenues, so, yeah.
And they know that they really can't start anything until they do the bulkhead anyway.
Does the permit expire if they don't use it?
The permit will expire,
Right,
but if they do, they can get it renewed again.
okay.
There's a fee for that. It's in the fee schedule.
Yeah, we piecemeal it.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn them on for the plan review.
Hold on just a minute. Any more discussion on it?
Do you
Okay,
have,
go ahead.
can I ask, do you have a permit application from them at this point?
They've submitted a request, right? They've
Yeah.
submitted their drawings and a permit request. We're holding,
For just for the villas,
That's just for the villas, that's correct.
right? And then, don't you ordinarily require whoever make that application to pay the full permit fee up front? Isn't that the normal?
that's the next step. We gotta get them to pay that.
Right, it sounded like we were talking about only asking them to pay.
No, we're not. We will take the full revenue,
Right,
but then we will only do the cost portion.
only pay to the contractor out of that. Okay,
Right.
okay, then I misunderstood
And
that.
that's a good
Yeah.
point. We need to make sure that they pay the whole fee,
Right.
permit fee. And Daryl and I worked it out and got it. It's around the 13 range.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve this, going forward with the plan review right now and holding off on the inspection with Safe Bill until they get started.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. B, consider and possible action to retain Reserve Officer John Quinn to manage webpage update. Can I get a motion to,
Motion to discuss.
okay?
I'll jump in, since I put it on here. As you might recall, back in July, I got a presentation from a new website company. We hired that new website company, and there's a migration process and then a training process, and then we have to start updating things. So it's been 4 months, and while the process to learn how to get on there and update is not too complex, there's a training step that you must go through. And then we have other entities other than just the Village of Tiki that'll be posting on that. It could be emergency, it could be fire department, it could be Tika, it could be EOC. And Brandy has a lot of things on her plate, like a lot, and a lot of them that are time sensitive. And in my opinion, it would be better trying to get this over to somebody else that has the time, interest, and desire to get us rolling with the website, and also could be a resource for these other groups. Mr. Coyne, I've never met him. I talked to him on the phone. He is a reserve police officer for Tiki, and he has a website, or he has an IT company, on the side. And he's more than willing to jump in and be our point of contact to learn the training and to be able to help get us online and moving forward. He has not only the Microsoft Word background, but the IT background to help us do that. And he's not asking to charge us. He's happy to help us get things rolling. And if down the line it looks like it turned into more than we thought it would be, then we'll just revisit it and talk about it. But it would get us moving forward, and would give us somebody that could be in charge of updating our webpage and getting us rolling. It has a lot of opportunity. The website itself, when being text messages to our residents and other ways to communicate. Not to mention it's going to look really nice. But this would get us moving forward, and it would certainly take something off of Brandy's list that's already very, very long.
Are you doing this for free?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the only thing is, the whole idea of this whole webpage thing that we paid $4,500, $4,600 for was that it was gonna be so easy to use and update that Brandy and Vicky and Sheila and everyone was gonna get trained so they can update things easily themselves without having to use a third party like we do today. Today we're using Robin, he puts the stuff on there. So I have no problem with him helping. I would like to at least get them trained and see how difficult it is. If they have a problem, then I think they can go to him and say, hey, help me out. I need some help getting stuff, getting behind. I need some stuff to be put on there. I really would like to get our money's worth anyway, because we paid, total almost over $6,000 when you figure the annual cost of this thing. It was $1,800 a year we're paying the company to maintain the website. So I really would like to try and get them going and make sure that they understand it well and see how difficult it is. And then if they have a problem, we'll contact the gentleman to go ahead and help out.
I get your point, Ray. It's been 4 months, and they've been trying to set training up and get that moving.
And that's tomorrow.
There's certain windows of training that they have to get into. This in reverse, I think, would work better, which would be let him get trained and then let him be able to help them at their leisure, as opposed to having to try to, fit it into a certain training schedule that they have. And he's more than willing to help us get that done.
I think they're doing the training tomorrow, aren't they? They're doing it tomorrow.
It's scheduled for tomorrow.
So, let's see how it goes.
We scheduled it once and they had to change it, so it's tomorrow.
And John's also gonna do a lot of legwork getting the site up and running, correct?
Yeah.
Which would take a lot of work off Brandy's shoulders.
Yeah, well, they're gonna, get it up and running.
So he come from, he come from Jamaica Beach, and when I talked to him a while back, that, he helps at Jamaica Beach, it's like, so he's familiar with the program and everything. Theirs is a different company, same concept, theirs is a little more technical, he said, but, he's very familiar with it because he helped set theirs up, so, and he's willing to do it, I mean, that, with that, I agree, they need to be trained too.
Yeah.
But you gotta have more than one person.
Yeah, I just want not to let them off the hook, because we paid for this, for them to get trained and do this. If we get them off the hook, then I feel like we haven't really gotten what we advertised we were gonna get.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest we let them off the hook. He can be trained as well, because we have all these other entities that are gonna post, and he can help get that done.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see how the training goes and see how difficult it is. It's supposed to be real easy, that's what they told us, you know. It can be very simple to update, send out texts and send out updates and changes and so on. So we'll see how simple really is.
Well, it'll be easy to retain the services for free.
That's fine.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion that the retained reserve officer, John appoint, to help us manage the website updates as needed.
I'll second
As a volunteer.
As a volunteer, if it changes at some point, we'll come back and talk about it. Yes.
Second? All in favor?
it.
Aye.
C, discuss and possible action to amend the 2022-2023 budget by increasing approved auditor budget from $20,600 to $55,454 to allow for last year's financial budget amount that was paid this fiscal year.
Motion discussed.
I need a motion. Any discussion?
Discussed. Yeah. Just,
Okay, motion discussed.
we expected to pay out of last year's budget, but we didn't until this year. And this is just that adjustment, right?
Well, with this a little more complicated than that. Last year, the bill came in, we knew the bill was gonna be higher than what we had in the budget.
Right.
We had 20 grand in the budget and it came in at 34 plus
Right.
dollars. So the one thing we need to do, first of all, we need to approve rolling the 20,000 over to this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't get rolled in the budget we approved. And then adding to the budget this year, the $14,854, which is the extra that we have, adding that to the budget for this year versus taking that money out of contingency, which we could do as well and not change the budget. So I recommend we increase the budget this year for the auditors to include that $14,854, and that way we don't touch contingency this early in the game. And plus contingency is supposed to be for things that, we didn't know were coming down the pipe. We knew this was coming. It was just, you kind of got the bill late. We didn't get the bill for this fiscal year. So what this is doing is taking the $20,000 from last year, rolling it to this year, plus adding the $20,600 that we have in for this year, plus adding the $14,854 cost increase from last year's audit to make the total of $55,455. So we're changing the budget basically for this year.
Directionally, I'm okay with it, but I have a procedural question. So you cannot charge the last year's budget line once the year passes? Is that why you're rolling it ahead? Or is that just how we ought to do it?
Rolling it, and we have to approve changing this year's budget.
But you can't charge the last year's budget, even though there's a line item for that?
We didn't even have enough money last year there. No.
Okay. But say there was, is that how you would fund it?
So some cities will encumber,
Right.
use the term encumber, that money that, where the obligation was accrued during that budget year, but it's not paid to the next year, you leave that money, pay it out of last year's budget. That's not the only way to do it.
No, we didn't do it.
So anything else like that, we would just roll it over?
If we hadn't spent.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay, thank you.
Like the road, we had the $55,000 for the road last year from the water department. If you look at our budget, it has been rolled in as a revenue item to this year. So we need to do the same thing with the 20,000, we need to show it up in the revenue side.
Yeah.
So it's rolled over. So that's a budget change for next year.
It's really carryover money.
It's really an increase in your ending fund balance from last year, right?
Right.
Any other discussion?
No.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Discuss and consider a pickleball court addition near to the existing tennis court. This is discussion item only, so can I get a motion to discuss?
Motion to discuss.
Okay, go ahead.
Who wants to start?
Yeah, so I've been approached several months back with residents out here about the possibility of putting a pickleball court or two courts, on Tiki somewhere. And I guess we looked at a lot of different options as far as property. The courts themselves are not terribly expensive. unless you gotta pay $200,000 or $300,000 for a lot to put it on. So kicking it around, looking at different options, the best alternative is to put it, think right here next to the tennis court. And that's a utility easement. Another option is to put one back here. You can put one back here behind the fire station, but I think, talking to the mayor, so I think the best option is out here next to the tennis court. And that little drawing I did, I just threw that together. That's 2 courts, which basically is in a smaller footprint than the current tennis court. And if you look at that drawing, this is just rough measurements that I threw together, leaving a 19-foot space between the existing court and the proposed pickleball court. The water and sewer run through there right now. Then you look at the width of that pickleball court is 30 foot. That leaves you about 22 feet from the edge of that court to the outside of the bike path. So I guess what we're looking for, and then that, like I told some of the people, that I don't mind helping with it and researching it more, but I don't want to waste my time, Steve Jefferson's time, and a bunch of people's time if the village don't want it there. So that's what I'm just looking for is input, hey, yay, it's our property, we don't have an issue with it. If we can work through the utility issue, we're all for it, or nay, we don't want to do that. That's basically what I'm looking for before we proceed any further, so.
So also you have AT&T underneath there, the fiber optics.
The way this is drawn out, I had utility locators locate do the thing at the park over here for the Christmas tree. When they were here, I had them mark that. And the only one that they marked, other than Steve Jefferson never got to theirs, we pretty much tell by where it's at looking at it. But the only one that was marked is AT&T that would run directly underneath there. So
That's directly underneath.
Yeah, that would be the only one we have to deal with. So,
And if they would need to get to it, let's take into consideration, I'm not trying to blow this thing out of the water, but if they need to get to it, they have the right to tear that whole.
that is correct.
They'll tear that whole court up and they do not have to replace it.
That is correct.
Because we're building in an easement that's dedicated to easements only.
Right.
And Steve, the proposed funding for this is through Tiki, correct? Actually build it?
That's up in the air. Me personally, right now, considering, the dredging and the fire department increase and stuff, I don't see the village doing this project. And be honest with you, I wouldn't support the village. If we could get TICA, private funding or whatever, that's down the road. And that's always a possibility. But the main thing is I don't mind helping, I don't mind devoting the time to it, but I just don't want to go any further and do all this work and come back and the village says, no, we can't put that there. So that's kind of what I'm just looking for right now, is getting hey, this will work. If we, and it's all dependent on the utilities.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm just looking for. Hey, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. That may be good for the village. Let's go ahead and proceed with that, see what we can come up with. And, but like I said, as far as funding, right now, I wouldn't support this village, me personally, but I'm all for it. I mean, I think it'd be a great asset to the village, but that's down the road. That's down the road away. So,
Where are the locations that you looked at?
the only other way you could do it is private property. I've reached out to Kingston for the property behind the strip center up there would be good. The property that I think Liz owns now south of her office would be a possibility. That's zoned commercial. The only other thing, the cheapest alternative would be whoever's going to be the financial backing for it is possibly buy the 2 lots that west of City Hall, the dry lots there. That if you had to buy property, that would be your cheapest alternative.
I could definitely get behind supporting someone else spending some money to develop property.
Along those lines, in talking to the people that are pushing this, they have no problem making it a multi-use facility.
Yeah.
Basketball court, foursquare, you could do cornhole tournaments on there if the weather's bad, so it wouldn't just be for pickleball. So
What about looking forward to the future? How about talking to AT&T and see if they can move their land over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a Tika thing.
They
Yeah,
don't
Tika's the only one with the money to do
It's,
it.
I got a lot of land there, I'll move it over where the,
Well, that's their fiber optics line.
That's the main
Trying
trunk
to move
coming
that,
in.
that's their main trunk line coming in, and they are in the utility.
Yeah.
yeah, the, the water and sewer is a little more, probably a little more difficult. AT&T can be boring under.
where is the water, any water and sewer under here?
Yeah.
This in this area right here,
Okay.
yeah, so
So it's just the telephone?
it's just a telephone that we see right now, so.
And you really need that 22 feet for parking too, probably.
Yeah, yeah, I would think so. I mean, we got plenty of parking out here.
Must support the pickleball court,
I do
it's
too.
becoming very popular. A lot of people are playing it,
I agree.
so it's a popular thing, that we can help them out. So getting more around it, that would be nice.
I agree.
So without any more discussion, let me ask y'all, are y'all in favor of, if we can, if Steve can get this over here and work this out, we'll have to get with AT&T. I'll make a phone call to them and see who we need to talk to about it. And then I'll get with you and you can come in on it. And then, are y'all in favor of them putting it into designated utility easement by the tennis courts? That's what we wanna know right now.
If Tika will fund it and ensure the repair of it, because that's the other side, right?
Maintenance.
Right, and the repair. To your point, if it has to get torn up and AT&T is not gonna be responsible for fixing it, I don't wanna be left with an eyesore for 5 years and then the city ends up on the hook. So I'd have some pretty serious conditions around the final approval of using that
I
property.
think what we'd have to do is write a contract.
Yeah.
Tika,
Yeah,
get our attorney to write a contract with all
Yeah.
the requirements and stipulations.
it almost has to be a bond.
Okay.
And
But far as any more work being done to put it there, y'all have you have a problem, Hunter? Being put here by the tennis courts?
Not by itself, I have a problem with it being over the
Well,
main
we'd have to
trunk
get the-
line
yeah.
coming in on AT&T, put asphalt on the streets,
Concrete.
people how, turn off their internet and their TV. Yeah, get ready.
Okay, do you have a problem?
I don't, and if it was over the AT&T, as long as somebody else, if Tika knows that, right, and anybody can fix it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm supportive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then continue on. All right, thank you. E, discuss and possible action concerning communications committee. I need a motion to discuss.
motion to go.
Go ahead.
That's me. So back to the website again, all the users of the website that we have, us being the governmental entity, agendas, minutes, things like that, EOC, fire department, Tika, all those people. The one piece I feel like we're missing, that's part of just about every website for just every community I've ever looked at, is some way to communicate, which really you're kind of promoting the community to non-residents and educating residents. Examples. We're gonna have a Christmas golf cart parade, or we're gonna have a fire department fundraiser, or whatever it might be. So I would propose that we have some communication committee to be able to do that, and it shouldn't come from city staff. It should come, I think, from this group. We talked about it before, is to better communicate. And they could use Mr. Coyne or somebody else to post that information on the website. Because we're not doing those things now. A lot of folks don't use Facebook. I don't use Facebook. But a lot of folks would go to a website. That's the one piece we're missing when I look at other communities that they're promoting or educating their residents about things that are happening in their community.
Yeah.
So my proposal would be that we have two aldermen that would be our communication committee, if you will, as long as they both agree it's something that's factual based and needs to be out there for the residents. They could have it posted there. Yeah, I don't think you put it in the hands of one. That way there's two people, checks and balance. And that's why I asked to put this on the agenda. So what do y'all think?
Yeah, would it be a specific place on the website for, that you would designate as communications? or
They-
something? I mean,
They all have different ones, right? And I'd have to go back and remember, Ray, from looking at that, exactly upcoming events, ongoing events,
A
happenings.
place on there where you would post these event kind of things.
Exactly.
There's a calendar.
Separate, or a calendar. or
Give
whatever.
calendar,
But
things like
separate,
that.
nothing tied into the city work, city
No.
business.
No.
Most, sounds most like social stuff,
But factual social stuff.
Yeah,
It's a
factual
calendar
social.
of events.
actual social activity.
Exactly.
Mostly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's really no one source to provide that. So we don't have a communications committee, if you will. And it's something that I think would be important. And this is a good opportunity to do it as we get this new website launched. And I know I've talked, Steve's interested in doing it. I know that. I've talked to other Steve about it too. They'd be interested to do it and have two people that were making sure that they both agree to put something out there. I think that's a great checks and balance that it's needed and informational and factual.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem, like I said, as long as we have a spot for the committee to put stuff on specifically.
And if not,
Don't get
it's
it
real
mixed up.
easy to change it to make
Yeah, we don't
that
wanna get it
place.
mixed up with other city business.
Yeah,
where it
exactly.
becomes, you know, is this city business or is it? it's-
Well, you wouldn't be allowed to post
Yeah,
anything about city business.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think if you do that, the first thing the two members ought to do is write a policy describing what's permitted and what's
What's
not. It doesn't
allowed.
have to be something, super detailed or whatever, but otherwise, that can be a problem.
Like,
Get into
well,
open
like we're
meeting.
not gonna put Betty's cookbook sale on there, that kind of stuff, or personal stuff.
Well, for
Those kind of
instance,
things.
Well, just, or things that, make the city look bad.
Yeah.
for instance.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you appear to be endorsing
That's why
it, you put it on your website.
For instance,
Yeah, that's why
somebody
we had
may-
Alderman do it, they're
for
responsible.
instance,
Yeah,
somebody
but
may-
you don't always speak for five.
Okay.
Well, unless you all
Yeah,
five
right.
want to do it, I don't, but I don't like, you'd have to be able to trust them to post things like a parade.
Again, if you start with a policy, then there's
Yeah, I
something,
think-
Yeah, written policy.
the council approves the policy, then the two can be the ones that enforce the policy.
Can you write the policy?
I can, but it'd be cheaper if one of those guys were.
We can,
But you're gonna pass judgment on
I
it.
can,
Yeah,
yeah.
we pretty much have something like that anyway, already.
Okay, yeah.
So,
a
And
policy,
John,
I
you
would have
check.
to look at it.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
John will check.
Yeah, and we're not talking about opening it up to regular postings, which is the really, dangerous thing.
can I suggest if we have a policy, maybe send that to all of us, or Steve and I, however you wanna do it, let us kind of mark it up, and then we send it to John for final blessing.
Sounds like a good plan.
So
Put it on the agenda for next month, after we see the policy.
You know, we just need to make sure we don't get involved with some of the city business stuff, like, hey, we understand this is the latest we think is happening on the condos,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the kind of
don't
stuff-
misunderstand the phrase, just to inform people about things that are
We
going
wanna
on.
keep it
Yeah.
on the social.
Events that- that's
mostly
happening.
event driven.
Event
That's
driven.
good. That's good, yeah, that's good.
want the Tika and the fire department and police department,
Fire
that's what they were
Tika's got
supposed to do
stuff,
in the
fire
first
department's
place.
got stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, we don't sponsor any events on the island, Tiki does.
It's not sponsorship, it's just information.
Well, yeah, so if Tika had an event, you would post it on there when it is information about
But
it.
Tika does that
Yeah,
on their portion of the
that's what I'm
website. Right?
That was.
Isn't that what we bought?
Well, they don't do a very good job.
Wait, that's what we bought.
Yeah.
That's what we bought.
Well, we don't have it up, so I don't know how you can say they're doing it, not doing it, because the website's not even up.
But that was the idea, right? Is that
Yeah.
there'd be fire department, police department, Tika, emergency management, could all go on and post their own stuff.
They can go on.
Right.
But don't you think it'd be good to have one place that has all the community events in one
I thought
spot?
that was gonna be on the main page.
Or some,
Nobody's responsible for updating the main page with what we would want it to be on our main page, the village's main page, right, of ongoing events. That would give this group some control over that communication of factual events, no endorsements, no city business.
Yeah. Is there a calendar as designed on the website?
There is a place for that, yes.
And do all the different departments have access to that calendar?
Nobody has access to anything yet, good question.
But that was envisioned?
Right.
Yeah.
I think potentially, but if, let's say it's our website, Village of Tiki Island,
Right.
and Tika doesn't, for whatever reason, they don't want to or can't or decide not to put things on there that are good to promote to the residents or to educate them about upcoming events, at least this communications committee could have some oversight there. And if it's not going the way we think it should, we've got a policy that we can follow. I think the policy is a great idea.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it would be good to have it in one spot
I do too.
for everybody.
I do too.
So when
It's a work
somebody
in
goes on
progress.
there, they just go to one place. And it doesn't have to be all fire department stuff or Tika stuff, it could be other things as long as it's in one place.
my experience with sites like that, it's a great idea to have various people inputting, but when you have various people inputting, you end up with typos and you have things that are missed, and you have half the group is really good about it and the other half's maybe slow. So if you have a person or a couple people kind of driving it, making sure it's all, the same, looks the same, it'll just be a better product.
So your vision for the committee is that they would be typing in the data?
A, deciding on what goes on, and then B, potentially typing it into,
You know,
or John
the
could potentially do
The
it.
committee would approve what goes on there.
The committee is mostly to approve what goes on.
I would assume the, Steve Square would take care of it, the GC would, approve what goes on there. Review and approve.
Yes. That's the idea.
Okay, good.
All right, I need a motion or a motion to approve or deny. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we create a communication committee consisting of 2 aldermen to develop a policy approved by this board for
And the village attorney.
For post-
village attorney.
posting social events and similar information on the city's website.
what he said.
Oh, good to me.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second
All in favor?
it.
Aye.
Motion passes. Citizen comments. State your name. Comments limited to 2 minutes.
I'll just say something real quick. Tom Fisher. It's good to be here tonight and see everybody, see some new blood. Just letting everybody know today is my wife Kat's birthday. So say a little prayer. She's our guardian angel over the city. She loved it. She loved the people. So just think about it. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Good to see you here, Tom.
Any other comments? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all for coming.